Bangalore Global Pitch Competition winners and runners-up announcement. And of course, we will be talking about what the journey has been. You'll get to interact with the leaders. You'll be interacting with some very wonderful people. And it's an honor and privilege that I'm going to be listening in as well to all the folks out here. And Geeta, over to you. So we can start this off. This has been a fantastic journey for the last few months for every one of us. A warm note of gratitude to all the mentors, the juries, the charter members of TiE Bangalore, the partners, supporters. And of course, the biggest gratitude has to be for the women entrepreneurs who applied, they came in, and many of our partners who recommended the very finest of these wonderful founders to take part in the global pitch competition. And yes, this is the beginning of the journey. So Geeta, over to you so we can kickstart the proceedings. And a shout out to all the phenomenal people who have joined us today evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. Dear Dr. Sridhar, Mitta, TiE Bangalore board members, charter members, women entrepreneurs, and TiE Secretariat, Vijay Shastri, Tulika Dasgupta, Shreya Badrinath, Lakshmi, and others, and the team and friends. I bid you all a warm welcome to our TiE Women Entrepreneurs Special Interest Group and Global Business Plan Competition 2021 Grand Finale. I extend a special warm welcome to all our sponsors and partners. We appreciate your support and contribution in terms of time and participation in our learning programs as instructors and mentors, and in our business plan competition as jurors. Your support and participation at multiple levels has been phenomenal, and it has made this program a grand success, and it has helped TiE Bangalore chapter maintain the #1 place in the world for the past 2 years. Again, a big thank you to you and a warm welcome to you also. And now it's my privilege to introduce Priya Chetty-Rajagopal, founder and managing partner, Multiversal, charter member and governing board member of TiE Bangalore. Most important, co-chair, TiE Women Bangalore Special Interest Group. Priya has been an inspiration and source of energy and enthusiasm that has helped make this program a grand success. Most important, Priya is my right hand, left hand, brain, everything. Priya, thank you so much. And over to you, Priya.
Geeta, you've been too kind, as you always are. It's such a privilege to be here today. And it's such a privilege to, have gone through this journey and cannot believe, honestly, that we're at this space. I want to quickly say a big, Geeta has acknowledged everyone who has been part of this. I don't want to sort of go over that again because there's just so much excitement and buzz that's been going on so far. But I do want to, before we move into our introducing our chief guests and getting on to the next part of the program, I do want to quickly mention just how much of this has been a dream from the last year when we launched this, and we ran straight into COVID, and we still managed to get this wonderful program up and running in the new avatar that it came up in. This is the second year. The first time when TiE Global, the TiE Women Group was set up, it was Hema and team who were so supportive and so many great ideas in terms of what we could possibly do. Bangalore has been incredible, and under Geeta's leadership has had so much amazing focus, energy, and more than anything else, commitment to make this happen. The roller coaster has been certainly just that, roller coaster. From the time that we've started, Geeta, if I'm right, it was in end May that we started.
Yes.
Yeah. So there has been one consistent voice that has been guiding, exhorting, collaborating, always collaborating. I think that's been her hallmark right through these months, with the fact that we have crossed 110 applications, the highest in the world, I think, so far. The fact that there have been so many different teams of people who have been supporting and forming a kind of almost a protective ring around our finalists and our participants to get them to the next level. So Geeta has really been the woman of the hour, and coupled with the TiE Secretariat and certainly the TiE Women Special Interest Group, a huge amount of work has been done. So while I acknowledge that, the real stars, as you know, are the incredible 31 finalists who've come here and are giving it their all. They are asking, they're pushing, they're really, really trying to get ahead. And these are our stars. So Geeta, thanks for everything you've done, and the Secretariat for all that is there and is ongoing. I'm going to quickly request two wonderful chief guests who really don't need introduction. We have Shanti Mohan with LetsVenture, who's been there, who has been such a voice in the space, such a mentor and a guide herself, in addition to being in the VC space. We have Dr. Sridhar Mitta, who has been one of literally the founders of TiE in Bangalore, a person who has invested so much by just being there and giving of himself and providing that kind of intellectual rigor that Bangalore is so well known for, and has actually just moved ahead so many entrepreneurs on their journey. So this is definitely something that I'm very, very, very happy to have a chance to quickly set the tone for. And I'm looking forward to the next person who will say a few words is Madan Padaki. Madan, despite the fact that he's had a slew of calls and conversations and reach outs, he has been there, and my God, he's been there in spades. So Madan, I'm not going to make any cliched remarks about the man behind the success and so on, but I'm going to say that we really, all of us at TiE Women and the whole team here, so appreciative of your absolutely stellar, dedicated, and truly sincere focus on this part of TiE Women and this part of getting our wonderful Bangalore entrepreneurs out there in the world and winning. So over to you, Madan, for your thoughts.
Thank you for, as usual, your super charged, very kind introduction, Priya. Geeta, I don't know where you get your energy from. You must be having a line running directly to the solar itself. It's amazing to see the energy, amazing to be a part of this. And thank you so much for bringing this all together. I've been a part of this journey right from day one, when we were trying to figure out, how do we get those number of applications, the celebrations when we crossed 100, the launch, the announcing of the semi-finalists, and now we are, of course, at the final stage. My mind always goes back to two things. One is that what a privilege to be a part of this ecosystem here. That is so powerful, and I think this is what makes Bangalore Bangalore. It's not about the infrastructure, it's not about the traffic jams. Of course, COVID has kind of eased that over the last year or so. But yesterday I got stuck in my first traffic jam after a long time. But it's about the energy, the thoughts, and the power of intent of people around, which is all there to see. It's all of you at the TiE Women Special Interest Group, our team at TiE Secretariat, led by the wonderful Vijay, Tulika, who've been, and Vinay, who've given it all of our charter members, especially the gang of women in the charter member group who are so enthusiastic, and all of our participants who made this happen. Recently, I'd heard about this, but the last week or so I've been doing this study or going a little deeper into this fascinating experiment by this Japanese scientist called Masuro Emoto. If you have not checked it out, look him up. He's done a lot of experiments on water and how the power of thoughts and words influence the properties of water. It's fascinating that when you talk to water with words of love, the crystals that form are very different from the crystals that form when you show it hatred. Is very different when you play Beethoven is different. The crystal that forms are different when you play something else, Chopin, for example. And he's proved that words and thoughts have an energy, and that energy infects everybody around us. And I think that's what makes Bangalore and here such a fantastic ecosystem, because each one of us come with that positive intent and that energy, and we convert that thoughts into action to say, let's make this all happen. I think that's really the power of the ecosystem. A lot of people keep thinking of the ecosystem more as, oh, we need all the actors, we need the space, we need infrastructure. Of course, all of that is required. But I think what is more important is the power of intent and actions, which is in full display here as we spent the last few months. And I'm sure this is just the beginning. So with that thought, a huge round of applause to everybody here who make this such a vibrant ecosystem, and it's such a joy to be in this space. At this juncture, I definitely want to acknowledge and invite the founding father of TiE in a way, Dr. Sridhar Mitta, who's seen it all, who's been there almost from day one. When the word ecosystem and the word entrepreneur, I mean, I don't know in 99 whether I could spell entrepreneur properly without autocorrect assistance in Word. But Dr. Mitta, you've been there, done that, and I think we must, every time an entrepreneur succeeds in Bangalore, like several of us have, we owe a part of it to the wonderful system, the ecosystem that has played a supportive role here. So with that, Dr. Mitta, welcome to this event, and thank you so much for being who you are and for doing the things that you've done for TiE. Love to get you in now with your thoughts and comments. So you're on mute, Dr. Mitta. You need to unmute. Yes.
Thank you, Madan, for the nice introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank TiE Women and TiE Bangalore for inviting me to this event. And it's an exciting event. It has some nostalgic things which I remember with respect to TiE Women. I will share that with you when Madan asked me questions about what I did at TiE. So I would like to congratulate the TiE Women team in Bangalore for getting to this stage of creating such a buzz and event where the TiE women were able to come and demonstrate and share their ideas, their entrepreneurship abilities and other things. And now we are eagerly waiting for the results of this program. Okay. So let me also compliment the group which made this possible, and wish all the best to the participants and the winners of this program. So Madan, do you want to get on to the Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Mitta. The one question that I'm sure a lot of us have, and we've had a lot of discussions on that, is what was it like in 99, I think 97 is when we inaugurated the TiE office not the TiE office, the TiE chapter in Bangalore. And we had a handful of people who were there. I still remember attending my first TiE meeting in 99. And I think there were like 20 or 30 of us in that room with absolutely no clue, what is happening there and what we are supposed to do. I remember meeting you there, and there was Nandan, and I think the only person I happened to know in that room was Pradeep Kar, who happened to be a super senior from my college. So what was it in those days, Dr. Mitta, and how have you seen the evolution of the ecosystem that's come away since then?
Yeah, the TiE was formed in 1992 in Silicon Valley. Globally, by three, I would say, legends: Kanwal Rekhi, Suhas Patil, and Prabhu Goyal. So they were actually waiting in San Francisco airport to see one of the executives from Indian government, and the flight got delayed. They were talking to each other. And later they said, okay, why don't we do something for the new guys who are coming from India? All the experience we have learned, trying to become senior CEOs or CXOs or setting up companies and all those things, so that they don't have to reinvent the whole thing. So that's how the TiE was born in 1992. It is a slow start. So there's nothing like chapters and all those things. It's purely a local phenomenon. So in 1998, I was located to Silicon Valley to set up a company called Nthink or Wipro to monetize semiconductor IPs developed by Wipro in the US and globally. That period was a very, very inflection point in the history of both technology and the market and the TiE. So it was the introduction of internet, which became a mainline thing. And it created a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to come with new technology to set up companies. The one company which got attention from all the people was Exodus Communications, set up by K.V. Chandrasekhar, who was my colleague at Wipro. So that has given confidence, saying that, hey, people from India are not only good for being middle managers, they can become CEOs and they become entrepreneurs. So Exodus Communication became a poster child for TiE. So that gave a lot of feeling. And my being there during that period and attending some of these TiE events kind of changed my life too. So I was thinking I am going to retire in Wipro, but these 2 years made me change. And people say that 2 years is too long in Silicon Valley. So I was smitten by the entrepreneur bug and soon became a charter member of TiE at Silicon Valley. So during that period, there was a conference by Stanford University, which did research what makes Silicon Valley tick, how it's different, how it's unique. So they came to conclusion there are many reasons, but the most important thing is the ecosystem of TiE, which cannot be replicated anywhere in the world. So that was the finding. So by 2000, I came back to India and then left Wipro on very nice terms and started a company called E4E, Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs, along with KBC and a few other colleagues. The basic idea is why should the entrepreneur from India travel to Silicon Valley to get the access to ecosystem? Can he be in India, he or she be in India and still get access? So that was the premise on which E4E was started. And we had the US component, Indian component. I was heading the Indian component. It was too early in the game. So there are no angel investors, there are no VCs in India. So what E4E did was kind of a pioneering, and we made a lot of good decisions. We also made some mistakes. So 1999 was the time when Bangalore chapter of TiE was formed by 8 of these, I would say, great veterans of Bangalore: Ashok Sudha, Madan Nilekani, Kiran Majumdar Shah, B.V. Naidu, Vivek Kulkarni, Pradeep Kaur, then Punima Jairaj, these people. They started, Nandan was the first president. So I am not the first president. Founding president is Nandan Nilekani. So when I came back, I obviously became charter member of Bangalore chapter. And within a year or so, Nandan became CEO of Infosys and handed over the mantle to me. So when I took over TiE Bangalore, there were less than 10 charter members and less than 100 associate members. That's the one you are referring to. So I was president for 4 years continuously. And during this period, I was also elected as the TiE Global Board of Trustees for 3 years. And we had several events. We had TiEcons, TiE Summits, talks by very famous people like C.K. Prahlad and other things. We had events coinciding with the BangaloreIT.com, and which later became Bangalore Summit and other things. But I fondly recollect the incidents. or three events of this period. One is that because E4E was meant for entrepreneurs, all the TiE activities were being done from E4E, and we saved a lot of money by being very prudent and collection. And we were able to build a corpus of 1.2 crores, which we used to buy a building, the space for office space, the central business district of Bangalore, which is still a monumental showpiece, which no other chapter, even today, including TiE Global or TiE Silicon Valley, don't have it. So that is a unique thing about TiE Bangalore. The second thing is because there are no VCs, there are no angel investors and all those things at the time, so we came up with a program called Entrepreneurship Acceleration Program, EAP. The basic idea is, what are all the entrepreneurs need, young entrepreneurs need? Validation of the ideas, some funding, some mentoring, some access to some of the other resources. So all these things were provided not by one or two individuals or organizations, by a set of charter members. So each gives a small delta, but which is not a burden on that charter member. But together it's very powerful. So this program, first two people who came through this program is, one is Red Bus, Panindra, second is Big Square. So it was so successful. Subsequently, other chapters all over the world kind of taken this and revised it, modified it, and used it, and that's still going on. The third one is the interesting one. One day, two women came to me, including Anjana, who is there here now in the group here. She said she used to work at Ernst & Young, and she came up to E4E where I was sitting and said, "Sir, we want to do something for the entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. So we have these ideas we are trying to do, two of us, how can you do it, want to implement and all." So I said, what is the difference between a man and woman and a man? As long as an entrepreneur, they have same problems. And TiE is trying to solve those problems. So what is this special for women? I told her, but she was not satisfied. So I said, okay, let's have a meeting of all the women CEOs, CXOs from the large companies who are entrepreneurial, and had a meeting in our office. I was kind of completely taken aback. I never realized there are so many gender-related problems to entrepreneurs. So I told Anjana, saying that instead of doing your own and all those things, so why don't we do a special interest group, TiE for Women? It was called TiE for Women. So TiE for Women started much before, when no other chapter had those things. So subsequently, after I left, I don't know what happened to that. And at that today, we have TiE Women in much bigger version and bigger, more effective and more resourceful and more prominent people like Geeta and Priya and Shanti are coming in. So we laid the initial seeds 25 years ago.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Such a fascinating peek into the genesis of all of this, right? The whole acceleration program, of course, the pride that we at TiE Bangalore continue to own probably the only fully owned TiE office in the globe, and the seeds of TiE Women being sown right then. We've definitely come a long way since then, Dr. Mitta, thanks to your efforts and the initial ideas and thoughts which have been built on. Wonderful to see you. One last word, especially on the avatar that you have now as with NextWealth. I know you're doing a lot of work in tier 2, tier 3 towns, enabling people to get jobs and creating entrepreneurs. One of the visions that we've been discussing at the TiE Women is, how do we go beyond Bangalore? How do we create entrepreneurs beyond tech? How do we really support women who run small businesses, to really get that self-belief and to start growing and creating local jobs? So we could, a couple of minutes of your thoughts on that, and I'll hand it back to Geeta.
See, when we decided to retire from professional life and I want to do something socially relevant. So I was fortunate to be associated with the 3 other colleagues from Wipro, Maithili Ramesh, S.R. Gopalan, and Anant Talwai. And we came with the same single vision. Our purpose is to provide employment to small graduates in small towns. So we thought that once people are employed, they have money to buy education and healthcare and other things. So, but the key is the people from small towns, because in cities and metros, there is already certain programs which are happening. And people in small towns who are graduated, who invested money, their parents invested money, their time and all those things. And after graduation, especially girls are getting married and then forgetting about all things. So the purpose of NextWealth is to focus on girls and people with disabilities who are not allowed to go to city, not because of capability, but because of gender reasons. So that was the premise on which we started. There are 2 important factors in NextWealth. One is setting up the small delivery centers in small towns. So they have to be naturally small. Our idea is to build a big company like Wipro. So the idea is to have a large number of small centers which are managed by a centralized headquarters from Bangalore. So that was the model. The second important thing is each of the center is set up by an entrepreneur, an association with an entrepreneur who is emotionally connected to that place, who is qualified, experienced in all this. So NextWealth and entrepreneur sets up this center as a separate legal entity. And all the issues related to the infrastructure, recruitment, training, and delivery is done by the entrepreneur from the centers. All the customer-facing functions, such as sales, marketing, technology, and all those things are done by. This way, there's a clear demarcation of the work, and we do what we are good at. The first center in near Salem. We have 6 centers in 4 different states: Salem, Vellore, Chittoor, Mysore, Hubli, Billai. We have about 3,500 associates working with us. 83% of them are women, and our target is 70%. In terms of management, today we are about 35% women, including CEO. Our target is at least 50%. So we are going in the direction, and we are scaling up. We are capital efficient, self-funded. We are not taking money from any VC or a bank loan. So we're doing well, especially in terms of the impact. We measure the social impact once in 2 years by an independent agency. And some of the findings are: number one, is 100% response. Their quality of life has increased.
Yeah.
Food habits have increased. Their clothing has become better, and all those things. Quality of life has increased on 100% of it. Because these are all first-time graduates whose parents are either daily wage laborers and all those things. So they become graduate, and now that they are earning money, they are able to increase the quality of life. Second point is self-esteem. So they are very confident now. So they, so they feel that they can kind of manage their life better. And other one is impact on the family. 45% of the family income is contributed by these things, especially women. Okay. Whereas the woman contributes 90% of our salary to the family, whereas the men equivalents or colleagues, they do only 40%. So you can measure the social impact. Finally, the impact on the society. So these girls, because they are working and all those things, they postpone their marriageable age at least by 2 years. In this period, they earn money. They choose their partner with a better say than before. Because that they didn't have any choice. So some of them meet health centers themselves, and it's having a lot of impact. So today, what's happening thanks to the pandemic, all these companies are having IT companies or technology companies having a lot of problems with respect to the talent war. Attrition has increased, cost has increased, and they want talent. So now they have kind of discovered that their talent may be available in tier 2 towns, and they're trying to come, but they don't know what model to use. Is work from home, is work from small town, work from anywhere, a hybrid model, and all those things. So we are suddenly finding ourselves inundated with the requests from these companies. We want to set up delivery centers in small town. Can you help us? So actually, we don't have a problem because our objective is to find employment, not necessarily by this company. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we are in the right position, the right place.
Wonderful, sir. This is so inspiring to hear, and wishing you and the entire team at NextWealth all the power. I'm sure, my mind is thinking around all the women that they employ. Many of them may harbor entrepreneurial ambitions. How do we help them get onto the journeys? These are several things that we can do. So we look forward to working with you and your guidance and advice as we power up TiE Bangalore to further heights and TiE Women to even further heights. So thank you so much for your presence here today and for sharing these inspiring stories with us, Dr. Mitta.
Thank you, Madan. Thank you, Geeta.
Wonderful. Thank you. Geeta, back to you. You're on mute.
Dr. Mitta, thank you so much for such inspiring talk and also comments that you made. And I remember every time I represented TiE Boston and came to Bangalore, you would roll out your entire office to me and say that here is my office, and use the TiE Bangalore office for anything you need. We did 2 venture capital delegation trips, as you remember, in 2004 and 7. We brought all the VCs from Boston, and you rolled out your office, and you opened up your office and said, use it as you see fit. I know I'll never forget that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Geeta.
Thank you. So now it's my friends, it's my privilege to introduce Shanti Mohan, co-founder and CEO of LetsVenture. We can, go to her profile and see pages and pages of what she has done in LetsVenture and as an entrepreneur and so on. So she's an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur with experience in building technology startups. And she has been a part of senior management at HP. I don't know if you remember this, Shanti, where you launched HP's App Store in the US in the early days of app stores in 2008. Oops, I didn't want to say the date, but that's a significant milestone. I had to say it. And Shanti is currently the co-founder and CEO of LetsVenture, a leading marketplace for startups. She's an active angel investor in the ecosystem. Friends, let's understand what drives Shanti and what excites her to invest. So here is the startup selection criteria that she uses. She looks for entrepreneurs who have a strong passion and belief into what they are building, their ability to think long-term, imagine the bigger picture, and marry the macro and micro. And she stays away from founders who are strongly opinionated and don't value feedback or are not coachable, those who are not coachable. Also, founders who try shortcuts and hold ethics as a chalta hai attitude are not something she follows through with. If there is no humility and respect in an entrepreneur, it is the deal breaker for her. She loves to meet people who believe they have the courage and the determination to work hard towards building what they believe in. This is what Shanti has said, and she believes in. That is, for all the entrepreneurs, Go follow what you believe in. Sometimes looking for validation from others may not be the best way to follow your passion. Alongside, listen to feedback and ensure you are always learning. And there is no substitute for hard work. Shanti, it's a privilege to have you here. And I remember when I called you a couple of weeks ago, you just said, I'm very interested to help women entrepreneurs. I'm in. So when can I talk? That is the enthusiasm that all of us should inspire and follow. Welcome, Shanti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Geeta, for having me here. And I was just listening to Dr. Sridhar, and amazing story of how this entire process started. And it's a privilege to be part of this event and share whatever little I have learned as I have built LetsVenture. I'd like to talk to my audience more as an entrepreneur than as an investor, because I think you will get a lot of that as you start to build your company. Really just an interesting snippet. And today I was talking to somebody on startups, and the person told me there's nothing called deal evaluation today in the market anymore. It's all about deal making, right? And what it means is that you can always dissect a founder, find reasons why the startup is not going to succeed, find reasons why you don't want to invest, find reasons why this is not going to work. I think as an investor, we have to also see the passion of the founder and see how can I make this deal happen, right? And I think every founder needs that one champion, right? One champion who just says, I really believe in what you're doing, and I'm going to be your deal maker. I'm going to go champion you with my friends. I'm going to see how I can help you fundraise, right? It's as simple as that, right? As simple as finding your first, the first visionary investor, or I would say your first champion investor, who then stays with you along the journey of building the company. I think that is something which sometimes founders miss, because today, as you know, the environment has become very fast-paced. Deals are closing very quickly. Millions of dollars are being raised very easily, right? And that should not discourage you as a founder, right? That is a great signal that, if you build something valuable, money will follow. But I think the first most important point is to build something which is valued by your customer, something which you would love to go back to every day in the morning and continue to build, right? So, just that has been my biggest learning, that whatever you do, you have to feel energized to get up in the morning and go back to that creation process, right? Creation process, building process, because that is the only way you can survive the entrepreneurial journey, right? I have been building LetsVenture for about 8 years now, and have learned a lot in the process of building LetsVenture. And I'll just kind of give a quick summary on how it all started, because it might be just interesting to connect the dots. I came back from the US, and this was like 2011-12, when crowdfunding was very, very very big phenomenon at that point of time. And I had a lot of founder friends. I had already built a company, raised angel round, done Series A, sold the company. Then I had worked with HP in India and the US. So I had a large network of friends. And when I came back, I had a lot of founder friends who wanted introductions to investors. And I just realized that this was like a non-scalable process even for me, right? Because I had 10 people and I was constantly connecting them back to the same people because I had that network. And then they would then in turn connect them to other people. But I just realized that as a founder, it was very hard to find the right investor. I think that is the word, right? Finding the right investor. And when I say right investor, it is about finding the investor who fits your thesis of building your company in terms of domain expertise, in terms of just the value sets you believe in. And from an investor perspective, incredibly hard to find or discover the right founder you want to work with, right? And there was an information asymmetry at that point of time. And there was an information arbitrage, right? And that was exactly what I went to kind of solve for. Very simplistic vision. I just started with saying, I want to make this process easy and I want to make this process comfortable for both sides of the marketplace. Very, very simple vision. And, then met my co-founder. He's an IIT Bombay. He was kind of building out the tech platform, and we came together and we launched our platform in September of 2013. And we did our first transaction, or the first deal we did in 2014, right? So if you look at my journey, I did not say, what typically people will say, why don't you go do 5 deals, run it on an Excel sheet, and then go build a tech platform, right? Because that's how typically we work, right? Like, let's go get validation. But somehow intuitively, it was so strong for me, the problem which was getting solved, because I went and spoke to about 20 founders. I met with about 20 investors, and everybody said, if I have a platform like this, I will surely go use the platform, right? And that's why we said, okay, let's go build the platform, and then let's go do our first transaction. So we wanted to be a technology first fundraising platform, right? Because the intent was to make to remove information asymmetry. Right. And that's the reason I always say, don't always look for validation, because sometimes the user does not know what he wants till you don't go show him the solution. Right. And that has been my learning. Right. And really follow your understanding of your customer gaps or customer needs. And the solution can appear in different ways, right? In ways that it becomes relevant to your customers. But sometimes those solutions are not very obvious. Right. So really that has been my biggest learning. And of course have been, just like what Madan said and what you said and what Dr. Mitta said, I think I have been incredibly fortunate because the ecosystem in Bangalore is very giving, right? There are people who are willing to give time, willing to support you if they know that what you're building is really what you're passionate about. I have found amazing people in my journey, amazing people who've just come and given me time very, very generously, supported me. I have probably the best investors in the ecosystem on my cap table, right? I never have a challenge working with them, right? I have Axel, I have Nandan, I have Rishad Premji, I have Ratan Tata, I have Mohan Pai, I have Sharad Sharma. Like, I can literally name the people, and they have been part of my journey, and very, very blessed and fortunate in that sense. But if you look at the decade today, I think this is going to be the decade of the Indian entrepreneur. I truly believe it. And, I love the statistics, what Dr. Mitta said, that women earn and they contribute 90% to the household, while men contribute 40%. Wow, that's like an amazing stats, right? And I think today, by being an entrepreneur, imagine the kind of impact you can make in your own families, in your own circles, in your own society. If we were to believe that we can really create and build value with what we are building in our own ventures, right? So really, for all the people listening in, I think congratulations for having applied. I think that is the first step. It does not matter who comes in the top 5. It does not matter who comes in the top 10, right? This is not a race to a finish. This is a journey to kind of build something which becomes valuable to you personally over time. I think it's great that the ecosystem today is nurturing you as founders. You should leverage it. Be very shameless when you ask for help, right? Be very, very, because people are willing to give you time, but you have to ask for the time, right? You have to know what you want from people, right? Nobody is going to know what you need at any particular point of time. So I think the ecosystem is ready to give, right? And we have to be ready to ask. Right. And, like your team here, it is so good to see that, we're taking out time on a Saturday evening, right, to actually come together and encourage entrepreneurship among women. I think there cannot be a better time to be a founder. I think it's the best time to be a founder in India today, be it man or woman, right? It is absolutely the best time. Right? You have people who build companies who are willing to contribute back. There is enough capital. There is enough people who are willing to mentor. So take it up and go fulfill your dream is what I would say.
Oh, that was so inspirational, Shanti, and you really inspire us every day. So that's really, really a great presentation you made today, and just a general common talk for all of us. We will be inspired by your talk, and we will continue to work with you and come to you whenever we need your contribution, your help, all that. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Yeah. And Vijay, Menon, welcome to our show. I thought you'll be coming in a little later after playing a good round of golf, but but you are here with us. That's great. And we will request Madan to introduce you to the group.
Delighted to be here, Geeta.
Hey, hi Vijay, welcome, and thank you for always being the pillar of support to TiE Bangalore. For several of us at TiE, Vijay needs no introductions. He's the executive director of TiE Global, an entrepreneur himself, several years and donning several corporate and entrepreneurial roles. Vijay has been at the helm of TiE Global, Vijay, almost 5 years and more.
Exactly, Madan, about 5 years, yeah, little more than 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So, Vijay, thank you for being here with us today, and look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Thank you, Madan. I think this journey to bring more women into TiE started about 4 years ago when we won this State Department grant from the US State Department. This was a grant to bring women entrepreneurs from tier 2, tier 3 cities into the TiE fold. And we started with 275 of them, and that number actually grew to 600 because there was a payback, and many of them brought other women entrepreneurs in. That really was the genesis of the whole TiE Women program, and we are immensely proud of what we've been able to achieve with that. That's because we continuously measure various metrics, to see our impact. In fact, when we started, out of the 60 chapters of TiE, only 7 were headed by women. Today, 24 chapters are headed by women. And our target is to see that at least 50% or maybe more chapters are headed by women. I think all 60 chapters today have women board members. This program itself, last year, we touched about 2,000 women entrepreneurs. This year, our criteria was a little stricter, so we actually touched about 1,200 women entrepreneurs. But it's just been fantastic to see so many of them come in, get mentored, get funded by TiE and impacted by TiE. And our association with GITEX, which is for the next 3 years, takes this whole thing to a different level. We're going to have all the winners of today from Bangalore and other chapters, 42 of them, actually going to Dubai and participating in GITEX. And we look forward to welcoming all of you there. And I see my good friend Priya on the line. So Priya, wonderful to have you here. And Geeta, of course, Priya and Geeta have been so fabulous driving this in Bangalore. So thank you for all that you guys do. And more power to women, more power to TiE women. I'm so excited. This journey of 4 or 5 years is it's just got its own momentum, and one hopes it becomes a real big movement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Vijay. And now back to Priya for her exciting group conversation with all our learning group leaders.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm going to quickly respond also to Vijay's comment. A couple of years ago, we met, I still remember thankfully before COVID, we met at the lobby of Shangri-La, and we chatted about what TiE women could do. And we had such a great powwow, Vijay. I really remember that conversation, so many different things and impact globally. And I'm so glad that 2 years later, here are we, having another conversation right in the middle of a fantastic running race with a whole lot of things that have already happened. 7 to 24 TiE chapters run by women, and so much of granularity in terms of the programs that are focused and around women is really, really a wonderful thing. And a lot of credit goes to you globally, Vijay, as global director, as driving this and taking this so sincerely and so committedly, dedicatedly to heart. I know you're blessed with one of the most fabulous women entrepreneurs as a spouse yourself. So you have some motivation right there at home. So say hello to Mitta for me. And I know that we're running short of time, and I'm looking forward to having a quick chat with our wonderful team that has been engaged, jumping in, sparring, motivating, harassing the finalists and the 100 plus women entrepreneurs that have made it through this journey. So I want to quickly call in, if I may. Can I have a quick shout out? I'm going to ask them to say a quick hello themselves, but all the way from Atlanta, we have Anjana. Anjana, are you there? If you're there, please unmute. And Ragini. Preeti, unfortunately, could not be here. She had a personal commitment. We have Nandita. And we have Chaitra. So 1 second. I think I just need to unmute. Just give me a second. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Guys, can you hear me? So here we have Anjana, as I said, imported all the way from cold Atlanta. Having done a great job on finance, scaring the hell out of everybody in terms of how ready they are on the finance side. I can't even begin to tell you. Nandita, say a quick hi. Where are you, Nandita Gurjar? Nandita?
Hi. I just
there she is.
got unmuted.
Okay, so we'll try and get you unmuted. I'll leave that to our host to do that. So Nandita has been very, very involved. Hey, great to see you, Nandita. So she, again, all our wonderful team members here look like nice people, like butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, and they were very nice. But I can tell you, Nandita was seriously scary. So she was so, I mean, she, if you get through this, you can get through anything. And it was superb. We have Ragini, Ragini is from Caspian, and so committed, so, cool, calm, collected, and enabling, really made such a huge difference. She brought in the element of calm and direction, and it was absolutely fantastic having Ragini there. And not only that, I think she's also been supporting the program in a very strong way as a company. So this is great to have Ragini. Preeti, as I said, could not be here, but I have Chaitra, who's here for a very short time, and I think has some other commitment, but I'm just glad that she's here. Chaitra, are you on? Chaitra? Vijay, is Chaitra on with us right now? Okay, I will.
Priya,
yes.
I don't think Chaitra is online.
Got it. Okay.
She's not coming in. She's not coming.
Got it. So we will have to. We will go on, and I want to start with this, since we have at this point Anjana, Nandita, Ragini, myself, Geeta, all on this. I want to talk to you quickly about the kickoff. I want to just go through these 4 quick questions. I want to ask you what you thought about the whole kickoff. It took a lot of time, and we can just put this on Geeta's door. Sincere focus, dedication, getting that whole process going with the secretariat. Unbelievable hard work. The process, let's talk a little bit about the process, the selection, and then the support and mentoring across the group as and when we started filtering. The special sessions that we had, whether it was from a VC perspective, from finance, from communication, confidence, whether it was what I call the tough love session from Nandita, perhaps a little bit about our thoughts. And let's end with our learnings, because this whole conversation was incredible. The whole series of conversations was, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, that every time it's a new experience, because we're meeting people and spaces and industries that we haven't interacted with before. We're seeing completely different perspectives, and my God, we're learning too. So we're going to end with our message for the entrepreneurs, but I want to start quickly with, if I could just ask, Nandita to sort of kick off on this one. Nandita, you've been super candid. You came in a little later in the process, I know, but in terms of the way things went, some of the experiences that you'd like to share, in the selection of the entrepreneurs finalists from TiE Bangalore? Something that you would like to share?
Thanks, Priya, thanks, Geeta, and everyone for having me here. I did join the whole program a little late. I wish I was part of it, right from the beginning. But, when you're selecting the finalists, it's a happy process, but it's also a very painful process.
Yeah.
Because, there are only so many numbers and, you just have to make sure that, some criteria which you have in your head is something which finally makes it happen. I always like to give the example, and I used to do a lot of it with my kids, and saying, just because you didn't do well in school doesn't mean you'll not do well in life. Of course, they taunted me that all the rest of their time with me, saying, "Oh yeah, you always told us this." But the fact is that you are successful in different milestones. And it is frankly not any indicator of your success in the next one. So I think both for the finalists and for those who did not make it at the finalists, your goalposts keep changing. So, you take heart and make sure that you continue to be as committed, because, there are different races all of us are running, very frankly. And, this was just one of them. So my take for this is that, it is a painful process. I personally really want to see all of them successful.
Yes.
Because, in a way, our investment was with all of them, not just the final ones. And, there are little things which you remember of each of them, some of the questions which they asked, and, some of the responses which, the way they took, and, how they, sort of continue to be in touch. So I think all of us, I'm sure, will be, making sure that, they are successful and happy that wherever they are, they stay successful.
That's wonderful. I think there was a lot of connection going on as we went on through the process. And thanks for that, Nandita, because, I think some of the insights that you brought in, particularly in terms of not holding back, being candid doesn't necessarily, mean something as blunt as it sounds. It also means setting up a looking glass in a very real way. And we, I think, realized how much that mattered in some of the conversations, holding up the looking glass, making sure that they were, they were properly, supported in the right way. But I want to, and it sounds terrible when I talk about our whole cohort of applicants, like they're a one homogeneous group. They're not. They were all wonderful, individual, very, very bright, very different people who we kind of all wished, I'm sure, and I know that we went through it when we discussed offline, we all wished that we had a chance to get to know them a little better, or what they were doing a little better. But it was what it was. Ragini, if you can unmute, love to hear your perspective. You brought in a lot of your mind and your instinct, but you tried to ground people a lot in terms of what people would expect, being somebody in the VC space yourself. So Ragini, your thoughts on the kickoff, the process, the selections, and then the process of sort of moving forward.
Thanks a lot, Priya, and very grateful to this wonderful group. It was a great learning, not only with Anjana, Nandina, Geeta, and Chetra, Priya. We were learning from each other, and also from So I think what Shanti spoke about, the customer focus. I think all of us, though we had an ulterior motive of getting a winner from TiE Bangalore, we were always focused on what is the value these women can get, because their time is really precious. So I think we did that. And I think what you spoke about tough love, and which Nandina gave, I brought in a lot of perspective from the fact that we are in this for a long run. It's a marathon. Yeah. So think about sustainability, think about customers, think about revenue. So that was good. And I think people were all very, very open to suggestions and feedback. And what Shanti spoke about, that if you're not coachable or not open to feedback, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. I think all our entrepreneurs, 31 of them, really did well on that. And I think another important thing which Priya, you brought in, was about learning from peers, which we implemented. Yes. And it was really a lot. We should learn a lot from each other, I think. And this group did that very well. So I'm grateful to be here, and all the best. Go shine, all of you.
Ah, that is so cool. No,
Yeah.
but you can't see it here, all of you here, and maybe in the future, you can't see the kind of the love and investment that has gone in. And I can tell you that Ragini has, for example, I'm taking Ragini as an example, has spent so much of time in making sure that each presentation, each conversation is authenticated. There's validation of thought process, of the path. Yes, it's true that what Shanti said about being coachable, it means being open, really, to say, how can I'm not saying I have to change as a Priya Chetty-Rajagopal, but how do I change as the owner or the founder of this company to make it what it should be, to achieve its full potential? And some of the inputs, yes, some of the things that we thought of, like the peer review, and that's actually not so much my idea, it was a collective one, was people were actually willing to support each other. And that came across very well. I thought that was a great TiE Bangalore initiative to sort of use peers to be a sounding board and to move people forward rather than just our so-called mentors, as if we are any bigger or better than they were. I mean, everybody's learning from each other. And Ragini, your coolness in being able, in taking them on, but your coolness in being able to evaluate and being able to step back and give them that perspective, I think was so hugely valuable. And I want to acknowledge that, having been in several of the sessions that you were in. I'm going to move on, and thank you, Ragini, again, but I'm going to move on to Anjana. Anjana's sessions, Anjana came in from two different roles. One is that she was, I just wanted to tell you that, we are so fashionable. Vivek, we import all our talent. We even import our financial experts from the US. And we also import different roles because she has a very important role right now that she was very, very loath to give up. So we had to extract her from the role of grandmother, which she was screaming and screaming. She's a new grandmother and she's like all over the place. So we said, no, get on the job, because we know what Anjana can do. And Anjana has, from her previous experience, in fact, I think Dr. Mitta just spoke about her, from the EY experience, from her own venture being, her organizations that have focused on entrepreneurship and her finance background herself, and has so clearly focused on women. She brought in a beautiful, nurturing, yet structured financial framework for people to evaluate their businesses. And my gosh, that session was, I think, a bit of a sellout, because we had a lot of people coming in and saying, can we have another one? Because it was a tough one. Anjana, you've done this. You've done this with all sorts of people. And this time you're back to TiE after a break. Your thoughts on that whole process, how it went through, what you felt, what your learnings were. Go.
Thanks, Priya. So it's wonderful, and I'm really grateful, as a grandmother, to jump back. And I think that's the beauty. I could jump back, and it's a message for everybody also, right? And as women, we go through so many phases. We can always jump back. And the support system is important, but we have to believe. And so coming back to my experiences, one of the reasons I'm with TiE Bangalore, and I did dabble with thinking of whether I should get into TiE Atlanta, but the Bangalore pool is too much for me. It's because of this warmth and this energy. Madan spoke about it. Dr. Mitta, I'm so humbled and full of gratitude that you remember. It's touching me. Yeah, yes. I can feel that the power of the love in Bangalore and the energy. It's unmatchable. And I would say that I still see that in all these women, the 31 women and the 100 plus who applied. That's what made us number one in application globally. And go ahead, girls. Without you, we are nothing. That energy is so vibrant and nothing can touch it or beat it. And it's pulling me all the way from Atlanta. Yeah, I cannot resist it. The lure of the women power in Bangalore. And it's your time, like others have said, Shanti mentioned. And don't worry about what anybody says. And I think some of the learnings, just to quickly wrap up, I started this journey with women in maybe early 2000, late 90s, and partly because I wanted to empower myself, and ended up, rather working with others. And things are the same yet so different today,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the difference I see today. The confidence in the women, belief, the sharing with each other, yeah, the ability to learn. These are wonderful, and women have opened up so much more to receive as well as give.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference I'm seeing today as compared to the past. I mean, just look at ourselves, our team, the few of us who are here on the panel today. I'm deepening my old friendships. Priya, I think I've known the longest. And I'm meeting Nandita and Ragini right now. I mean, through this, right? Only virtually. And Geeta, of course, for some time. But the way we've bonded and collectively, that energy, amazing. So, I think I'll hand it back to you, Priya.
No, Vivek, Angela, you made a very important point, but I also want to go back to what Dr. Sridhar Mitta said, that sometime long ago, executive from EY came in and spoke to him, and TiE for Women was born. Look at the fact we are here 22 years. I was also part of the group that came in a little later, but how wonderful it is to be part of the beginning and part of the ongoing process. But Anjana, especially on this, I mean, I really value what you've done, and the kind of grounding that you gave many in this process. But just two things that you would like to highlight. I'm conscious that we have all of us spoken. I want Geeta to share her thoughts, and I know we have a message. We are at 6:11, and I'm very conscious that this is the time for the winners. This is the time for all 31 winners, to talk a little bit about themselves. But two quick thoughts, or insights about this process, this particular thing in 2021, in post-COVID era, from a finance professional's point of view. What were your two biggest thoughts, learnings, insights, whatever?
So one thing, in fact, above the finance professional, I think as a professional, I think leadership made the difference. The leadership, Geeta's is amazing. Hats off to Geeta. I mean, we talked about this 22 years ago. I think each one of us comes with our skills. Like we say, the fingers are all different, but together, right? So my skill was starting. My skill is doing things, implementing. I'm a leader, but, Geeta's is a different level. And Priya, Nandita, I think that's the key in the process. The teamwork was amazing. That's what impressed me. And just a quick one. Many people say that women cannot work together. I think this is really rubbish. And I've been saying this all these years. We've proved that it's possible, right? By example. And don't believe in all these things. Just believe in power. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a cliche, I think, created by men, because they were scared of what we would do if you all ganged up. So
Guess what? We did. No, Arjun, I want to hold you to one. I'm saying this was my question was actually about the participant. The participant. Yeah.
Okay.
What was you mentioned one point which I think was very important, which was you saw the level of confidence was different.
Yes.
The level of asking. I found that maybe say 10 years ago, people were much more diffident about the kind of things that they were asking. They were more conscious of worrying about how they looked when they asked a so-called obvious question. Today, they're willing to ask. And when it comes to finance, and particularly considering that seems to be such a big trip up for so many entrepreneurs today, I want to know your two insights when it came to these the final 31 people that you talked through on the financial frameworks. What were your two?
I still feel there is a lot lacking in finance. In fact, I'd be willing to work with them through messaging or individually. Happy to do that, right? I think that's the key. Just like we've taken charge of our health, I think women need to go much further to take charge of their finance. It's not just about making wealth and making money, but it's about being aware, just like about being aware of your health. It's very important. And I think they have a little more to go.
All right.
There's always more.
No, that's a fair comment. I mean, at the end of it, we still have a way to go. We've moved, but it's a way to go. But you know that your sessions also were very well appreciated. Like almost everyone's here, we had to sort of drag you kicking and screaming on doing something that you've done so many times in the past. So for you, it probably would have been autopilot, but what the heck? So thanks again, Anjana, for that. And it's so wonderful to have a little bit of history in this group being talked about right here. Sridhar, Dr. Mitta talking about you being here so many years later, and this wonderful group going forward, the global winners. Who knows what cusp we're on today? I mean, it's a fantastic space. I want to go on to Geeta, because Geeta, now I'm going to take away the hat of being the chair, and I can't even tell you the kind of work that you put in. I mean, I remember being abroad and you calling me to make sure that you had my my collaboration and my support on something that was required. The level of commitment has been amazing, and the level of working with people. But I want to ask you, when it came to the finalists, what I want to ask you is, what were your takeaways? What is it that you felt were something that stood out? And what, if any, did you feel that you learned?
Yeah. The first thing is, I am based in Boston. I had no friends here. I mean, I didn't know too many people except Priya. I knew you, and I knew Ragini, and of course, Anjana, and Chaitra, and Preeti. These are the people, whenever I visited Bangalore, I used to, say hello, meet for a cup of tea and things of that nature. But then I said, we cannot run this kind of a program all by ourselves. So what I did was I requested Vijay and team to give me the list of all the lady charter members who are there in Bangalore. And they sent me the list, and I started calling each and everyone and making friends. And then I asked them, if we were to give you a role or a responsibility, what would be the best thing that you can take, right? Some of them said, of course, Preeti, Priya, and all of you said, learning programs, we can get involved in this learning programs to come up with a structured program to help these women entrepreneurs. And there are others like I'm not getting their names right now, but Shruti and people like that. They said, we cannot give that kind of time commitment. We are very busy with the Cisco Launchpad and other things. So they said that we will be happy to help you with partnerships, so we can bring in partners, potential partners for this program. I said, great, wonderful. Then I myself had given some workshops in organizations like GinServe and all that. And so I went to them and I requested them to become our partners. So our partnership started growing externally. And then Madan connected us to the game team. And Mr. Srinivas was so open to this, and Sanjay Anandram was so open because he's involved in the NICE program. So we brought those people in. NASCOM, I went to Saurabh Srivatsav and I said, can you connect me to someone in NASCOM? So it went on and on and on. And it's like something influencing the other. And last but not least, I talked to Mohan Das, and I said, Mohan, we need to build a group of strong, successful women group so that they can come back and support our program. The first name he mentioned was Nandita. He said, Nandita would be the lady for you. So I said, I don't know Nandita, can you connect me? Immediately in the next minute, I got an email from Mohan Das connecting Nandita to me, and Nandita right away agreed. So I have been very, very lucky and fortunate to have all of you guys holding hands and working on one goal with a common mind, common passion, common interest and inspiration. I think that is it. That is what is making this program so successful. I'm so grateful. I sleep, I go to bed at night thinking that how fortunate am I, Ragini, and of course, Anjana. I went back to Anjana. She said, count me in. And then she said, I want to continue as charter member of Bangalore and all that. So I said, great. And so I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate for having all of you work together with me.
Fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Geeta. You've been an amazing guide. And I think this has been about just one stakeholder, which has been the entrepreneur. We have had partners who've been incredible. We've had, whether it's Game on Ice, whether we've had the NetApp Accelerator or Western Digital, they've all been absolutely fantastic. But let's get down to the ones who really, really bring us here today and really, really are going to make us proud. I think we all have one. I hope my co-panelists can, if they have their TiE cap, this is something we want to say to you.
Yay!
All right, we're going to hand over to the next guy, but I don't know whether you're mirroring, but can you see this?
Yes.
Padaki, what do you have? I have terrible writing, but I have a great plan. Guys, nothing comes for free.
Go
So,
shine.
Yes.
Go
Oh, shine. Very nice. Go
So,
shine.
hats off to you people, literally, and go win. I'm going to leave this with I want you to sort of look at the screen for one more time. You are not able to see Preeti and Chaitra and several others actually who have been at the backstage, but Preeti and Chaitra who've been there, spending time, giving resources, sharing insights, coaching, mentoring, and wanting so much for our Bangalore finalists to get there. So a big cheer to all who have made this happen. And now to the next part of the program, which is, hopefully going to announce our wonderful winners. Geeta, back to you. And people, go in.
Yeah. Priya and ladies, friends, I would like to share one more thought with you guys, because you are the learning champions, you are the learning group leaders. So I believe in there is no winner or a loser, but because we are entered into the competition, we only have to select one winner and 4 runner-ups, etc., 4 or 5 runner-ups, etc. But my message to all the women entrepreneurs who participated in this program, you're all ladies, you're all winners. And we are here to continue to handhold you and continue to support you throughout the year, whether you go to the Dubai finals or India finals or not. We will come up with some programs that will help all of you to go to the next level. So we will, of course, plan some programs where you can participate and continue to handhold you. There are no losers in this program. Every one of you who registered for this program is a true winner. Thank you so much. Then I'll pass it on to Vijayta. And Vijayta, you can take it away.
Thank you so much, Geeta. Thank you, everyone. So it's a delight for me to request Kanika. She's, of course, our charter member, and she's an amazing person because she also happens to be the program director for TiE Women globally.
Yes.
And she's been traveling. She's been doing a lot of work. She's been giving us so much of support, guidance, and helping hands. So, Kanika, you have the pleasure and the delight of honoring and announcing the winner, the runners-up. So over to you, Kanika, and of course, a gratitude from all of us for the wonderful support that you've been giving to us selflessly in every way. So over to you, Kanika. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijayta, first for that such a generous introduction of me. I think you guys have all been running such a beautiful endeavor here in Bangalore, and with Geeta at the helm and this powerful secretariat that we have, Vijayta, Tulika, all of you, you've been doing an amazing job. So I think our work became much easier at TiE Women Global with chapters like Bangalore driving it so passionately. Vijay Menon earlier traced the genesis of TiE Women Global and how it started with a State Department grant 4 years ago. But really, TiE Women in its current avatar was discussed at a Dubrovnik breakfast meeting 2 summers ago. And really, goosebumps is what I feel when I see how far we have come from that journey that started 2 years ago. What really started as a vision has transformed into a beautiful idea. And here we are in year 2, continuing with our journey of creating bold and impactful entrepreneurs. Now, some interesting data to share with all of you. Last year, of course, was our debut year. And we onboarded 26 chapters worldwide, and 2,000 plus applications were received, and 26 winners went and participated in the Dubai finale. This year, we've definitely done bigger and better things. Our presence, as far as TiE Women Global is concerned, is there in 30 countries, which is an incredible feat. We have 46 participating chapters, or locations, I should say. 1,200 plus applicants, and this is all, despite the challenges of the pandemic, 1,200 plus applications. And I want to make a proud note that almost 10% of these applications came from Bangalore. With amazing success stories to showcase from these women entrepreneurs. I think we can't all wait to get to Dubai and host the 46 winners from different countries, different continents at the GITEX Future Stars. So ladies, GITEX beckons you, and I hope to see a lot of you in Dubai. Of course, the winners will be there, but a lot of charter member support is needed. So please do make your plans accordingly. I want to end with a special thanks to the TiE Women Global team. You're all familiar with our co-chairs, Dharti Arvind Desai and Smita Siddhanti, who really molded the vision for where TiE Women Global has been heading. And they are supported, of course, by a wonderful MC team, which comprises of Mahavir Sharma and Shamima Parveen from TiE Dubai, and myself. And we also have a great EC team, which is driving the other pillars of TiE Women Global, be it an open mic night, an active learning workshop, or the Mini Connect series with a showcase of successful entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs happening every month. We also have our wonderful program manager, Aparna Mishra, who's been supporting us all along the way. Now, needless to say, the TiE Women program, just like any other program of TiE Global, is chapter driven. So it is chapters like Bangalore that have relentlessly been driving the program and getting us to the position we are at today. Shanti Mohan was mentioning, how women need to have champions. They need to find that champion. And I must say here that Geeta and Priya, who are our coaches from Bangalore, had the vision of driving it with a circle of champions even before our application deadline ended this year. So I remember even our MC at the global level was probably not meeting as frequently as Geeta was driving it. And every week we were all on a meeting and figuring out what the direction of the TiE Bangalore program this year should look like. So Geeta, thank you for all the passion. And of course, Vijay and Tulika, you guys have done an amazing job. And onwards and upwards, I think TiE Women has great things in store going forward. With this, we are here and this is the moment of truth. And before I make an announcement of the winner and the 4 runners-up from TiE Bangalore, I want to reiterate what Geeta said. There are really no winners. There are really no runners-up. There are definitely no failures. It's all a first attempt in learning, if I may quote from our former president, Abdul Kalam. And we're all winners in our own right. And if anything, TiE Women Global and the local chapter is here to support each and every one of you, because this journey is about every entrepreneur that comes into the TiE Women fold and our support and our constant engagement with each one of you. So please do not shy away from reaching out to us at any point. We are here to embrace, engage, and empower, and we mean it. All right, so on to the winners. Vijay, should I go ahead?
Yes, Kanika, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much. So the first, the winner from TiE Bangalore is Akshata Ashok of Sama ODR-based solutions. A round of applause for Akshata, please. And we have 4 runners-up. These are Linda Ravindran, Headway AI, Dr. Fatima Benazir of Azuka Labs, Prapti Jaiswal, Arogya AI Innovations, and we also have Anmol Ajay Saxena from Ashwa Weartech Private Limited. Congratulations, ladies. This has been an amazing journey having you, and as TiE Women Global, we cannot wait to welcome Akshata in Dubai and see the rest of you at our accelerator workshops and boot camps between now and end of November. With that, I hand over the floor back to Vijay.
Thank you so much, Kanika, and that's really nice of you to very sweetly and graciously announce the winner. Of course, we must see the face and hear from Akshita as well. So, ma'am, if you can just come in line, say hello to everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think the entire journey has been incredible, and not just the organizers and all the mentors as well, but just giving us the opportunity to meet fellow women entrepreneurs was just so amazing. And I think everyone's been doing such a great job, and I'm really looking forward to get to know everyone. But thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it.
Akshita, if I may ask you, this is Geeta. What is one thing that you can take away from all the learning programs, mentoring programs that you had in our chapter? So this will help us continue to improve our programs. Can you name one thing that you valued most?
Hi, Geeta. I think just it's very rare, I think, at least in my personal journey, to have been in a room full of so much women power, or even the men and women working towards sort of creating spaces for us, and just having the opportunity to meet fellow women entrepreneurs and hear from them what they had to say. Especially, I think the peer review was so lovely. It was so lovely to hear everyone helping each other. Like, you go to sleep feeling like that was a great day, and there's a lot in store for all of us, and we can grow forward together. So I think that's just been fantastic.
Great. So back to you, Vijeta.
Yes, thank you so much, Geeta. And I know that we have in the Zoom room, we have Linda, Dr. Fatima, Prapti, and Anmol. So please, I think everyone needs to hear a little bit from you as well. So this is an opening networking session. Remember that, number one. Number two is, everyone's a winner. And the work and the journey has just started, because what we care about is how can we help each and every single one of you through our charter members, through our partners, to grow, get your business, get your PR, get your visibility, and get your funding, whoever is looking for more investments. So that's what matters. So may I request Linda, Dr. Fatima, Prapti, and Anmol to also come in and just start saying hello to everyone, please, one by one. That will be wonderful. Hi, Linda.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think we're truly humbled, and of course, super happy to be a part of this initiative and to have really come so far. So thank you to the TiE team for really organizing these series of purposeful sessions and these great engagements with all the cool mentors. I must say this program has been par excellence and an awesome learning for all of us. And I would also like to congratulate all the other winners and the finalists. Bring that cup back to Bangalore. I think that's what we will tell you. I really appreciate the hard work and look forward to the continued support.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dr. Fatima.
Yeah.
Hi, Fatima.
Yeah, I think it has been an amazing past few days with these mentoring sessions. And thank you very much for the opportunity. I think it has been personally very much encouraging for me. And one thing I would say is it helped me overcome a lot of my mind blocks and barriers, primarily because I have been a researcher at heart and I'm still one. So transitioning to business has been a real long and a big learning curve for me, because I had to unlearn a lot of things. And I think this platform has actually helped me overcome a lot of my barriers. And one thing I really appreciate about this program is I've been in a lot of mentoring sessions where I think it's only mentoring from one side, whereas I think all the mentors took personal interest. I think there was care, which usually we don't see in mentoring sessions. And I think the mentors were easily able to identify shortcomings of or wherever we had to make improvements, and the suggestions were really to the mark. So I think that's one thing that I really appreciate. So it's rare to see care and concern in a lot of mentoring sessions, which I really appreciate. And I think this love that you show to all of us is what makes TiE Bangalore Women Forum, whatever it is today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatima. That was so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Very
Fatima.
nice.
Prapti?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been such an exciting journey. I remember kickoff and Priya said, we're in it to win it. And that was a consistent energy that was maintained throughout sessions. A lot of times that energy kind of falls or wanes a little bit through mentoring sessions and different over time in general. But that was one consistent point that was unwavered. There was no chance that that energy dropped in any of the sessions. And I think what that did to all of us was it fueled us with that fervor to win, that confidence and joy to just engage with y'all, to learn and grow and be better. So thank you so much for the just exciting brilliance of this whole system. Can't wait to continue working with you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome, Prapti. That is just so nice of you. All your energy is what fuels us back. So go
That's
for
right.
it.
Yeah. Priya, I remember the last session where we had that session with Chaitra. Prapti was talking to us from the airport. So she said, if there are any announcement, behind me, please don't mind. I'm sitting in the airport. I thought that was so interesting and so exciting that she wanted to participate in this program. It was so nice.
That's right. Also, how committed they were.
Yeah, how committed they were.
Yeah. Each one who's been on this, I've interacted and I can relate to some of the things that they're saying. So it just gives us great joy. All of you, all 31, but we've had so much respect, so much love, and so much of, I just feel like I want to give you all a big fat hug. So take that hug, take that energy and just go win the world. There's a beautiful saying which says, you don't have to be fearless. Doing things afraid is just as brave. So we know how afraid we are sometimes in terms of getting things done, but my God, you're brave to be out there. So go rule.
Thank you. And I think we also have Anmol. Anmol, would you like to come in?
Yeah. Hi. So good evening, everyone. My name is Anmol Saxena. I'm the founder of Ashwa Vairtech. So we basically have been focused on building tiny wearable systems like these, but a platform this big has given our tiny wearables a huge boost, all in terms of confidence, in terms of motivation. I especially loved two sessions in particular, Geeta ma'am's session when we had the finance session that we had. I love listening to Geeta ma'am talk. She's very, she's very outspoken, and I've followed you on a lot of different platforms across TiE. It's great to always hear you, Geeta ma'am. And I also love the peer-to-peer session that we had, where we had a mentor and then we had 4 or 5 women entrepreneurs talking to us, listening to our pitches, giving us feedback. It was a very wonderful and a very positive kind of interaction after so long of being in COVID isolation. So thank you very much, TiE, and thank you for recognizing my tiny wearable device startup on such a big platform. Looking forward to working with the TiE acceleration program here on.
Lovely. Did you see how she managed to put her little wearable right there on the screen?
Right there. That's great.
Yes, Anmol. You're learning. Awesome.
Yeah. Anmol, you may be manufacturing tiny wearable, but your idea, your passion and everything is so big. Don't worry about it. Just move on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anmol, and everyone else who's here. So it's now 6:38, but if anyone would like to, any of the other founders who are here, and we have quite a few of them, if you'd like to just come in, say hi, and let the world know that you are there, because this is being recorded. It's there out there on YouTube. So, look, it's a good chance to get some visibility out there. Just come in and say hello, please. You're most welcome to do that. We want to do whatever we can, as much as we can, for the wonderful women entrepreneurs. So please, this is an opportunity to come and say hello, and it's an open networking now. So please go ahead. We'll keep it open for a few more minutes for everyone to say hello to each other. And we have quite a few of our other charter members also here. So thank you so much, Suri, for coming in as well. And all of you, your support, everything, the grace has been outstanding. Mahavir, every one of you. Bala, thank you for that. There's absolutely no reason to be shy right now. And Geeta, the session should not stop. We must give more support. Please carry on.
If anyone wants to say a few words, please do raise your hand and I will give them co-host access so that they can unmute.
Well, looks like there are 2 participants who would like to speak. 3 now.
Yes, I think you should be able to unmute yourselves.
Yep. Good evening, everyone. It was so nice and energizing session for me. I've recently started a business in inclusive and adaptive clothing for persons with disability, elderly, and people who have just come out of surgical procedures. So I'm looking forward to some mentoring support from some of you, and I'll follow you on LinkedIn at least and get in touch with you for support and guidance. Thank you.
Hello, namaste. My name is Prem. We coach, counsel, and train top management and core teams. Today is my first day at TiE. And Geeta, I know her since several years. I've been a great fan of Geeta. We have met several times. So what we do is we go very deep into a person's business. We understand very carefully and we try to help them in whatever way we can. We do everything, whatever it takes to do, whether it is mentoring, coaching, counseling, training, and this is what we do. Some of our clients are Akshay Patra, Sudarshan Silks, and usually people who have already been in business for a long time. And we put up a 10x model for them on any of the KPIs which they choose. And I'm very happy to be here. And it's a great feeling. I'm very joyous to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem. Good to see you again.
Good evening. I'm Indu Veluchami. I'm the founder of Wild Turmeric Naturals. We prepare natural hair dyes and oils and shampoos. This is the first day in TiE. I got this opportunity to attend TiE through Geeta Ramamurthy ma'am. Very supportive, encouraging speech today I had with her. It's like pushing my business upwards while speaking to her. I dreamt my growth only with the 10 minutes with speech of her. I really take this privilege as an honor to encouraged me and supported me. And Geeta ma'am is really a wild, supportive woman. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. So friends, Indu was connected to us by Sri Lakshmi. She's one of the lady charter members of TiE Mysuru. And so I spoke with her and then she immediately wanted to become TiE member. And I think Lakshmi and our Prashant are working on, getting her to be a TiE member because her company is based in Bangalore. So Lakshmi was so nice from Mysuru to recommend her to me and connect her to me. And then we are taking it forward. So Vijay, the partnership with TiE chapters, especially Mysuru, is already working. And I was on the jury session yesterday when they had a small internal business plan competition. And so now we are trying to work with all those finalists and help them go to the next level. So
absolutely.
Thank you, Indu, for being considering to be our member here. Vijay,
thank you.
Thank you. And of course, Tulika, Shreya, Vinay, Sai are all there in the background. and putting in all the efforts to make sure that we can give the support to the entrepreneurs. And yes, Geeta, I think nice game, NetApp Accelerator, Cisco Launchpad, Merger Domo, and of course Ragini with the Caspian, and Jayanti from Western Digital. They have been so supportive, Shruti from Cisco Launchpad, because I think what can we do for the founders here is we want to give you the ability to get, say, paid POCs, right? You can work with accelerators, you can work with the government of Karnataka. As you all know, the Elevate program has also started. Okay, so you all should apply for that. There are many other programs that keep coming to us, which we share on the various channels of communication. So having you all to take part in these, win it, and gain your money, gain your PR, gain your go-to-market connects, etc., is what we want to do for you. Let's spread the word, because it's important to support entrepreneurs and the fantastic charter members that we have got. They are really, very genuine, very caring. Our partners are there, our sponsors are there, and of course our team. Everyone, as I said, Shreya, Tulika, me, Vinay, Sai, we're all there, Lakshmi. So anytime, reach out to us and let's be part of a very amazing, incredible long-term journey of success, happiness, and make lots of money. And all the best to the winners to do more and everyone else out here. Thank you. We are on 6:45 p.m. and it's been a journey of 1 hour 45 minutes. So is there anything else that we would like to share, say, or we can call it a day, and stay safe, everyone. Vinay, I think we have got our feedback forms out here, and as Vinay Dora has shared, the founder networks, we have a lot of volunteer groups. We have an EdTech SIG also that is very, very active. And, be part of our community, be our members so that we can help you better. And you can get mentoring and support from the fantastic charter members that we have got. 120 of them are there and it's increasing. They're all very warm. They want to contribute. They want to support the entrepreneurs as they're growing and, to take them to the next level. And we have a great bunch of volunteers. So I want to once again thank people like Savan and Raksha who are supporting us, our other charter members like Surya from Idea Spring Capital as well. So Kanika, Geeta, everyone, we can call it a day. Nandita.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vijay, and Tulika, Shreya, Lakshmi, Naveen, and Vinay and his team. Thank you all very much for being the strong support behind the scenes. You're all silent heroes for me as far as I'm concerned. So you don't show up, you don't talk much.